4,000 years ago, the Indus Valley was home to massive, highly organized cities, and then they were completely abandoned. For an entire millennium, the Indian subcontinent lived without cities. The crowded streets and busy markets went quiet. The writing system, the complex sanitation networks, the specialized craftsmen, and the centralized administration simply disappeared. The population adapted by moving. People formed tight-knit clans, reverting to a rural, mobile lifestyle. They spread out across the landscape, leaving the grand brick infrastructure behind to be reclaimed by the earth. This 1,000-year pause reset the social structure of the subcontinent. When urban life finally returned, it wouldn't follow the old Harappan blueprint. It was built on an entirely new political foundation. Toward the end of the second millennium BCE, these wandering groups began to settle. Clans sharing common languages and customs started claiming specific geographic regions as their own. These new territories were called the Janapada. In Sanskrit, the word translates literally to where the people have set foot. Claiming the land was the prerequisite for everything that followed. A clan anchored to a permanent territory can finally invest in infrastructure and trade networks that last for many generations. Rebuilding civilization required a shift in technology, the mastery of iron. Look at these early spearheads. Iron offered a significant upgrade over the soft copper and bronze tools used by the Harappans. Heavy iron axes could now clear dense timber forests, and iron-tipped plows could cut deep into thick soil. This allowed farmers to produce far more food than their individual families needed to survive. This surplus food fueled trade networks that expanded across the fertile Ganges basin. These riverways became the arteries of a new, rapidly growing economy. Managing this trade required a way to standardize value. This illustration shows the first Indian minting process, taking soft metal and physically punching symbols into the surface. These are the results: punch-marked silver coins. You can see the distinct symbols embossed in the metal. These small silver pieces traveled across regions, linking different territories through a shared currency. Iron technology did more than improve farming. It monetized society and created a level of wealth that the subcontinent hadn't seen for 1,000 years. Wealth made these territories targets. To defend their silver and their land, smaller Janapadas merged or were conquered, consolidating into larger, more powerful units. By the 7th century BCE, 16 massive empires, known as the Mahājanapadas, dominated the subcontinent. Their influence spanned thousands of miles, from Gandhara in the northwest, all the way east to the borders of Ganga. Protecting a territory of this size required massive engineering. Look at these brick foundations from Kaushambi. The new capitals were heavily fortified cities, often surrounded by deep water moats and accessed through narrow, guarded gates. The Mahājanapadas represented a scale of organization that didn't exist previously in the region. Managing them required a rethink of how power was actually distributed. This growth forced a central question: how do you govern a populated, wealthy superstate without the system falling apart? Some states, like Magadha, became monarchies. Power sat with a single hereditary raja who maintained a standing army, collected taxes, and used a network of ministers to enforce his will. But other states, like Vajji and Malla, chose a different route: the early republics, or Gaṇas. In these republics, power was held by an assembly. Major decisions, including the selection of the ruler, were made through open discussion and a collective vote. This means that while standard histories often look west for the origins of democracy, ancient India was already pioneering functional, assembly-based governance. Within a few centuries, the subcontinent moved from wandering rural clans to a region of fortified cities, iron weaponry, and a complex silver-based economy. Unlike the earlier Harappan collapse, the foundations laid during this period never disappeared. Look at the footprint of Rajagriha. The civilization established here remained anchored to the land. You can see the evidence of their success in the modern world. Most of the capital cities established by these 16 ancient empires are still living, populated cities today. The era of the Mahājanapadas didn't just rebuild lost cities, it established the political and urban DNA that defines India to this day.